Hi, welcome to Healthy Kids Inc. Glad to have you today. We're going to be going over a tomato basil soup. We have Chef Joe Crockett with us, and he's going to guide us through.
All right, so the first thing I've done is I've heated the soup pot on medium-high to high heat. You need that in order to saute, so you really want to make sure that the pan is hot, but you want to be very careful. We're using olive oil, and olive oil has a low smoke point, so you want to make sure that you don't put the oil in and then heat up the pan. Then you'll end up with smoke in your kitchen, and I've been there, and you don't want to do that. So I'm going to add a little bit of my oil to the pan. I like to use a squirt bottle, easy to control. And then I'm going to go ahead and add in my onions and garlic. You could also add in red onion, white onion, yellow onion, doesn't matter. You just want to saute these just until they start to get a little bit of color on them. The onions will go a little bit translucent. If they get a little brown, that's okay. That's flavor, but if it goes too much past that, it's burnt and you want to start over. Okay, I'm going to add the carrots in too. Carrots are a little bit harder of a vegetable, so they take a few minutes to soften up. At this point, once you have those in, you can also begin to season. I find if you season throughout the cooking process, you're less likely at the end of cooking to sit down at the table and add a lot of extra salt. Okay, so at this point, our onions have went translucent. Our carrots are starting to soften a little bit, but they are holding their shape. This usually takes between 5 and 7 minutes total. But at this point, we're ready to add in the next phase of our ingredients. And that typically consists first of chicken stock. You want enough to cover your vegetables. Then you also want to add in your canned tomatoes and any fresh tomatoes that you may have and all of their liquid to the mix. Stir that in. You want to season one more time. Some pepper, a little bit of salt. I'm going to add in a spoonful of tomato paste. What that will do is give this a deeper, darker red color and more intense tomato flavor. And we're going to use either dry or fresh basil here. Add that in. I'm going to give this a good stir to incorporate everything. Now what we're going to do is bring this to a boil. Once it comes to a boil, we're going to reduce it to a simmer and simmer it for 20 to 30 minutes, and then it's done. Okay, so now we're going to blend our soup in the food processor. You want to make sure that it's cooled really well before you close this lid on there and start to blend, otherwise it'll have a tendency to pop its top. So I'm going to keep a towel over the top just in case. I'm going to pulse this until smooth. Give it a check. A little bit smoother, and you can actually do this to your preference. If you want it a little bit chunkier, you can leave it chunkier. If you want it silky smooth, you can take it down that far. All right, we're going to top this with a little bit of fresh chopped cilantro. You can do any fresh herb on top that you wanted to. There's the soup. All right, while we are blending our tomato soup, you can have your husband, wife, and or the kids get involved and make some sandwiches. So we've got some bagels here that we've went ahead and separated, a little bit of spinach leaves. We also have some cucumbers sliced up, a little bit of low-sodium turkey breast that is smoked, and then a little bit of prepared hummus. You could do this with any variety of vegetables, or if you could use ham if you wanted to. You could use whole wheat bagels. There's a lot of different ways you could go here. But I'm going to take some of our hummus and spread it onto our bagels. All right, got that on. Then the next thing you want to do is kind of layer some of your vegetables. You got some cucumber slices. Top it with our spinach. You can use any greens that you want to use. Okay, so now we're ready to top our sandwiches off. Put that on top. This one I have a little bit upside down. You can flip it over just like that. Make sure everything's still on there. And then these are good to go.